Hello, welcome back to the channel. This week I'm going to be talking about tents. I'm going to be looking at the tents that I've used in the past and also giving an update on the MSR Hubba Hubba NX, which is the tent that I'm currently using on all my backpacking trips. Okay, so this is the first backpacking tent that I ever bought. I bought it about 20 years ago. It's a North Face mountain marathon. It's classed as a 1.5 person tent. I'm not sure about where they get the half a person for, but I've just pitched the inner at the moment just to let you have a look and you can see for yourself in terms of size. So it's a 2-pole system, one there and one at the foot. It's colour coded, makes it easy to pitch. Then the outer pitches on and attaches over the top. Now I bought this around about 20 years ago. It cost me 360 quid then. And I was looking to go ultra lightweight and fast as well, but it's just a piece of kit that I never ever got round to using, so it's used very, very sparingly over the years, but I have used it recently within the last 12 months and it has provided a decent shelter in decent weather. What I do like about this tent is that it pitches close to the ground so it can deal with any wind sort of pretty comfortably, but it is quite a snug fit in there. You can get in with all your kit, but again, you're pressed up against the sides and stuff like that. So it's not the most comfortable for a multi-day backpacking route. I'd maybe just, if I was going to use it again, I'd maybe just use it for an overnighter and in better weather as well. But other than that, it's not too bad. Okay, so the next shelter I'll show you is this Snugpak Stratosphere Bivvy bag. It's a double hoop bivvy bag. It's really lightweight. I've used it a number of times in the Lake District and abroad as well. And it's a great little shelter. I really, really rate it. But I only use it in really good weather as well because you can't put any kit on the inside or very, very limited kit on the inside. Everything has to stay outside, so you've got to put stuff in dry bags. And whilst that serves a purpose, it's not always ideal. But this is superb. You've got a little bit of a vent there, and because it's a double hoop bivvy as well, it just helps keep the material off your face when you're sleeping, and that counts for a lot. And you can see inside it's very, very limited in terms of space, but some people think sleeping in a bivvy is a bit like going to bed in a coffin. It doesn't really bother me. I think that the fact that that's off my face provides a lot of comfort. It'll take any of my current sleeping pads that I'm using, and I've never had a bad night's sleep in one of these. In fact, I get quite excited when I'm there because it feels a little bit more like cowboy camping. But I've really enjoyed using this. It cost me about 120 quid or thereabouts. I've had it a few years now. It's been out with me a few times. Nothing recently though, but it has been out quite a few times. So yeah, I really enjoy this one. And finally, after buying this 7 months ago, I've finally been able to field test the MSR Hubba Hubba NX on several occasions now. So I've got a little bit of experience with it. And I have to say, on each occasion, it's performed really, really well. Having said that, they've not been the most challenging conditions either. And I have heard online of some people having problems with the poles, particularly in the wind. And as you can see, it pitches quite high. The other two shelters that I've shown you are quite low to the ground, so don't necessarily suffer with the wind. But this one could have potential, so it's something else to bear in mind. I'll take you and have a look. So the first video that I posted 7 months ago was just initially to demonstrate how easy it was to pitch straight out of the box. And it absolutely is. It's never let me down. So it pitches in 2 parts. It has an inner first supported by a single collapsible pole system, which is easy to put together. And then it clips onto it, as you can see. And then it's got a robust outer. I'm going to leave the outer out for now, but I'll show you that on some clips of my previous camping trips. And that fixes to the bottom of the tent poles. It's really that easy. It does come with an option to buy a footprint. The benefit of that would be you could pitch the inner first in inclement weather, save all your kit getting completely wet, and it offers some extra protection from the ground that you wouldn't ordinarily get, especially if you've got things like twigs and needles and bits and pieces and stuff underground. So it's really worth considering that. without the footprint, it weighs in, including the cover, the poles and the tent pegs, at 1,687 grams. So it's not the lightest out there, but it's nowhere near the heaviest. So there are a number of features about this tent that I really like, and the first one is the space. As I've demonstrated before, there's absolutely tons of room. You couldn't quite fit 2 people in here. I'm sure you've got another porch on the opposite side as well, so you've got space for plenty of kit, cooking space, and certainly living space if the weather gets that bad. So if you're spending more than a night in here, I'm sure you'd be pretty good. The other option with this tent as well is that it's freestanding. And once you've actually built the tent, you can move it around and place it in the position that you want, so you can get as flat as you possibly can get. Make sure you're not over the top of any rocks or anything like that, and which I had to do on the last trip up in Edale. Very difficult to find a pitch that was big enough and flat enough at the time, but because I could manoeuvre the tent, that really helped a lot. And the other thing I like about this tent is the performance. I've not had any condensation whilst I've used the tent. That's primarily because it's got an inner and an outer that you pitch separately. You can use it straight out of the box. You don't need to seal the seams with any seam sealer to prevent it from leaking. I think that's a massive bonus. And you don't need any trekking poles as well in order to pitch it. It comes with everything you need. I don't use trekking poles. Some people do, and it's a matter of preference, but it's something that persuaded me to buy the tent as it is. As I've mentioned before, because it does pitch quite high, it might suffer in high winds, and I kind of get that. And if you have got a tent that uses trekking poles in order to pitch, you can always lower the trekking poles to accommodate the wind and just make it less impactful. But that's it. If you've enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about the MSR Hubba Hubba. Have you got one? Are you contemplating buying one? What other shelters do you use? I'm always interested to hear from you. And if you could subscribe to the channel, press the bell notification, and then you'll get a heads up every time I upload a new video. And hopefully before the end of the summer, I'll be able to use this tent again once or twice. Thanks for watching. See you next time.